Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Danielle and I am the owner of Damn Fancy Creations and the Drunk Flamingo Glitter. If you guys are new to my channel, I do want to let you know that you can catch my content in two other places. I have a large tutorial group on Facebook as well as a smaller, more personalized paid membership group where I offer exclusive content, free digital files, discount codes, and fun group challenges each month. I'm going to link both of those groups in the description below in case you want to check them out. Today's tutorial is yet again another car freshie tutorial. I've been making car freshies like crazy lately, and if you guys follow me on any of my platforms, you know that I am also into sublimation, and I've been just sublimating everything that I can get my hands on. So when I found out that you could sublimate these fun felt freshies, I jumped right on it and I am obsessed with how they turned out. They're just another item that I can offer my customers and just add to my line just to kind of expand on what I offer and give my customers options of what they want to purchase. So these felt freshies are super fun. I'm going to walk you guys through how I sublimate them, how I decorate them, where you can get supplies to decorate them, and how I scent them. So if you guys are ready to see how to make these fun sublimation car freshies, let's get started. Alright guys, so the very first thing we're going to do is lay out all of our supplies. These are felt pieces that are for car freshies that I got off of Amazon. Then I printed 2 images each that are going to go on the freshies. So one image is going to go on the front and one image is going to go on the back. And then we have our heat tape. Now you can measure your freshies. I believe the ones that I got were about 2x4. But I do make my images slightly larger just so I'm sure that the freshie is going to be completely covered with the image. So what we're going to do is lay our image down. Then we're going to place our freshie on top. And then we're going to take some heat tape and we're going to tape the felt freshie to the image. And we're really placing the tape there just to hold that image in place, just because we are going to be moving them a bunch, stacking them. So we just want to make sure that that image is going to stay centered on our rectangle. And you guys can see in my video how I do make my image a little bit larger. So if you are going to be designing images, just keep that in mind. If you have a main image on your freshie that is going to be centered, you may want to make that image just a little bit smaller since we are going to have a little bit of overhang. So I am just going to speed this up a little bit while I finish taping these. And then we're going to move them to our heat press. Okay, so now that we have all of our images taped off, we are going to put them on our heat press. How many you put on your heat press really depends on the size of your heat press. I also should have put a piece of paper down first so my ink does not transfer to the cover that's on my plate, but I didn't even think about that. So we are for sure going to put a piece of butcher paper on top of our images just to help with the ink transfer. We don't want it sticking to the top of our plate. And I press these about the same as I would my t-shirts. I usually do about 385 for 60 seconds. And here is what they look like after we press them. They do shrink in size a little bit. But now we have to get the image on the other side. So I will wait for these to cool down. And then we're basically just going to do the exact same thing, but the opposite. So we're going to tape the images to the back side now. So while we are taping these, I will say that the next time I do these freshies, I will probably do them at a lower temp and pressure because they did flatten quite a bit. So I will probably do them how I do my can coolers or my car coasters, chapstick holders, things like that. So the next time that I do these freshies, I will probably press them at 350 for 30 seconds to see how that turns out. That is what I do my little koozies and car coasters and things like that at. I was originally just following the instructions that came with the freshies, but I think a lower temp and pressure, they would still turn out good. And I think that would also help to maintain some of that thickness. So we are just going to tape the rest of these up and then we're going to press them again. All right, so now we're going to press the other side. You guys can clearly see that I need a new cover for my plate, which I have tried to order several times and then always forget. So this just reminded me again that I needed to order one. So this time I am going to put a piece of paper down first, which is what I should have done to begin with, so that ink does not get on the cover. And I'm just going to place all of these on here. So I'm just making sure that they're kind of evenly spaced out. I don't want ink getting on to another freshie. Then I'm going to cover them again with paper. You want butcher paper or wax-free parchment paper. And we're going to press it down. Y'all can also see how dirty my heat press is. I did clean it. once those 60 seconds are up, we are ready to peel the paper off. I did find that it is a little bit easier to peel these while they're still warm, but I think they turned out so good. These felt freshies took the ink really well, and I was really happy with the image quality on them. So now we're ready to decorate them, add some beads, things like that. These little beads, the wooden ones that I have, like the rustic looking ones, I actually purchased some beads off of Amazon, and I just colored them with Pop of Color paints. I color them by basically putting the beads in a plastic bag, putting a little bit of paint in the plastic bag and shaking them really well, and then just laying them on a sheet of paper to dry. So we're just going to string these freshies and then string the beads. Make a little knot at the top of this freshie, or at the top of the bead, and then a knot at the top of the string, and we're done. This is basically the same way how I make my freshies in my other freshie video that I have. But I do add a little extra things to these guys. I just have different flowers, bows, things like that I just thought would be cute on these. So here's how I make my little bows. I saw this on TikTok and thought it was pretty genius because I'm pretty terrible at making bows. And you can make your bows bigger or smaller depending on what you're putting it on. And you can just adjust it until you get the look you want. Since this had a pattern, I did want to try to even it up a little bit. And then I just burn the edges just to keep it from fraying. Couldn't decide if I wanted the larger bow or the smaller bow on this guy. Clearly, big decisions. And I'm just using the Gorilla Glue Super Glue to attach these. And we're just going to add a little sunflower to this guy. So I am going to show you guys just some different things I did to kind of jazz these freshies up. I added a few tassels at the bottom of some of these. I just had some string on hand and made my own tassels with them. So I basically just string the thread through and then take another piece of the thread and kind of tie a knot around it, and it just creates this really simple little tassel. And you can cut these strings off. And there you go. There's tassel number 1. I did decide to cut it a little shorter, and I think it gave it a little bit more volume. And now we are going to add some beads to this guy, the same way that we do all of the other freshies. Just loop the string through the hole and then string the beads on. Tie a little knot at the top of the beads to keep them from moving around. And there we go. So now that this little flower is dry, we can add some more things to this guy. Clearly, I need a new hole punch as well. This one I'm pretty sure I've had since I was in college. And this one I decided to add some beads at the bottom of the freshie. I thought that would be a cute idea. So I am just taping the ends just to make it as skinny as I can. And we're just going to thread them through. The wooden beads I have, the hole is a little bit larger than the plastic bubblegum beads. So I was just using the wooden beads for this particular style. And then I realized that I cut my string too short. So you guys know I like to just show y'all like my trial and errors. So if you are going to do beads at the bottom of your freshie, definitely leave enough room so that you can tie a knot. That was my problem. It was too short, so I could not tie a knot with that much thread. So I just had to restring it all. And I made it super long this time, just to be sure I had enough. So we're doing the same thing. We're just going to tape off that edge, make it really thin so that it can string the beads. And now we can tie a knot. And then I'm going to cut a little bit so there's like a little baby tassel. But yeah, I think that this one turned out really cute. And I did just burn it just a little bit to keep those edges from like coming unwound. And then we're going to string the top and just do one bead at the top. But this one turned out super cute. I like him a lot. So I will just let this play for a little bit so you guys can see how I created some of them, give you guys some ideas of maybe how you want to do yours. But that's pretty much it for these freshies. For the fragrance, I do not scent them before I send them off to my customers. I actually include a 5 milliliter spray bottle that has a fragrance oil in it so that my customers can actually spray their own freshies. That way they can load their freshie with as much or as little scent as they want. Me personally, I do not like a lot of fragrance, like smells overwhelm me pretty quickly. So for my freshie, I just spray it 1 or 2 times and I'm good to go. Some people like to douse their freshie in scent. So that way, if you include a little bottle with fragrance, customers get to decide that on their own. And here are some finished pictures of some of my favorite freshies that I made. I think they're so fun. It's just another option that you can give your customers. They definitely have a different look and feel than the Aroma Bead car freshies, but I like them just as much, and I hope you guys do too. If y'all enjoyed this tutorial or learned something new, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to catch the next video coming up that was picked just for you. As always, if you're looking for more tips, tricks, or tutorials, be sure to check out my tutorial group on Facebook or my Damn Fancy tribe. Thanks for watching.